Hello plant people, how are you guys doing today? If you're new around here, my name is Ashley and I like to garden with science both indoors and outside, and this is definitely going into the indoor realm. So it is winding down here in zone 3, which is unfortunate to say, but regardless, we're expecting frost probably in the next 3-ish, 4-ish weeks. And so I need to start my indoor food supply, and I'm done. I'm not paying grocery store prices anymore. Plus, they don't even have the cool stuff. They just have the basics and they charge too much for it anyways. So I'm going to be using this Vivo Sun DWC, which is deep water culture is what it's called. And it's identical to that really small Jiffy version I had before, which by the way, not my favorite. It's way too tiny, but this bad boy is huge. So it's much easier to deal with. So it has the leca inside of it, and I mean, I've done entire videos on leca. You can actually use this for houseplants as well if you wanted to grow a big bad bomb type monstera. And then it has a number of different parts and pieces, and you can just immediately tell how much better quality this is compared to that gall darn Jiffy pod version I had. So essentially what this does is it's going to take water from the bottom of said bucket and it's going to put it back on top of this dish, which makes this deep water culture drastically different compared to that Jiffy version that I was using that only had the bubbler on the bottom, which by the way, I'm not a huge fan of, if you can't tell. I'll use it for houseplants. I'm not using it for vegetation. It's just, it doesn't do what I want it to. So this is the version I'm going to try out now. You guys have to let me know if you've tried out these Vivo Sun deep water cultures. They're pretty inexpensive considering how much it comes with. Like these motors, when I was trying to build one on my own, these motors with just one outlet are like $30-ish from a pet store. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to give this a shot. It also has the backwater check. Like it has everything you need. There's no additional pieces left. With that Jiffy pod, you needed the additional, you need to add some bits and bobs or go and purchase some other stuff just so that the water wouldn't backflow into the pump, which also happened with mine. Yes, wonderful, I know. So needless to say, I'm going to be starting in this, and I want to show you how I'm starting it. My intention is to start it now, have it outdoors, and then move it inside. Now, the bonus to this is I'm obviously going to save on the lighting energy that it will take for the next 3-ish weeks. It's going to save me a bit of cash, and by a little, it's probably not much, to be honest. I don't know how much energy costs for my LED lights. It's not much, but regardless, I don't have to watch it as often. So I'm going to try and germinate this outdoors. It's a little bit warmer, and just overall it'll give me a bit better results. So one of the turmoils I'm having is deciding what to grow indoors. And so West Coast Seeds actually sent me a number of different things that they wanted me to try hydroponically, mostly because they said that a lot of their customers actually ask for this sort of stuff, and how to grow hydroponically, what works, what doesn't, and West Coast Seed doesn't know. And this company is an awesome Canadian company where they will not just recommend you do something without first trying it. So I'm their test subject. They sent me a whole host of really cool different types of things you can grow indoors, one of which is this dwarf red robin. I'm actually super excited to try this out. It's cherry tomatoes, but it's a dwarf determinate cherry tomato, which if you're growing indoors is exactly what you need. And it's relatively prolific from what I've seen. And the germination, like the days to harvest is only 50 to 55. Is anyone else's brains blown by that? Because mine is completely blown. I cannot believe that. 50 to 55. It just doesn't seem, it just seems less, because normally like a tomato is 70 to 80-ish. Maybe a bit longer. Sometimes I've seen 90, but anyways, those red robins are pretty quick. And then this one I'm actually excited to try too. It's Pulverian Black Mint. And so initially I was like, oh, mint, yay. I mean, mint's a dime a dozen. But this isn't mint. It is a mint family, but it has hints of citrus and cilantro, meaning I'm expecting to use this more so in like pasta and stir fry type setups than in drinks. I don't know. I'm excited for this one. I'm also going to do some shisho. So this is used for sushi, and then it's also saying pho or sushi. So it's an Asian green. I think it's going to be wonderful. And then I'm going to do this bad boy. It's the emerald basil. It's called Emerald Tower, but it's a Genovese basil, towers above all of the varieties, compact and columnar. It blooms 8 weeks later, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I'm gonna try this out. I'm excited to see. I've never done like a compact basil. I've only done like classic, and then I tried a ribbed leaf. It was pretty good too. And then I'm going to do thyme. So that one I'm gonna try out because, well, I've done thyme hydroponically before too, and it tastes delicious. I've done basil hydroponically, and what else? Another one. I can't remember what it is, but I'm going to have to use ones that like a little bit of heat. I do find my grow tents can get a little bit warm, typically speaking. So that's going to be my solution there. Now to start these, I am going to use my Root Farm sponges. You can use rock wool, stone wool, or technically you could also try germinating just inside the leca. Now the seeds I'm using are pretty tiny, so I'm not going to germinate directly in the leca. These do have the little tiny hole on top. So I'm just going to simply plunk those in, put it inside of the leca. I'm actually going to bury it pretty deep. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a little bit. Okay, so I'm literally just going to aim for this hole. And you need to put in the same amount. So, I mean, you don't want to overdo it. And I'm only going to do 2 seeds. And then if I need to, I will have to trim this back. So my goal is I'm going to do 2 per bucket. I have 2 buckets total. So I'm going to put 1 on this one and 1 on this end. That reminded me of a ball pit when I was a child. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do this bad boy. And what should I do? Should I try this Bavarian Black Mint? I don't know. It scares me. It makes me nervous. So fun fact, I'm actually a super picky eater. Like, not by a little bit, by a lot. And so stuff like this actually like super creeps me out. I'm like, am I gonna like that? No. Oh, these seeds are bizarre. Okay, you have to take a look at these. This looks like marigold seeds. Look at that. That is so weird. Okay, so I have 5 total. Again, if these bad boys squish themselves out, I'm gonna have to obviously trim them back. So these I gotta try to get in like basically perfect. And then I'm gonna put this guy on the opposite side over here. Okay, let's get the rest of this bad boy set up. So yeah, we'll see how this year's indoor grow goes. You have to let me know in the comments down below if you're an indoor gardener and what you're growing. Is it cash crops like herbs? Is it lettuce? Is it things like tomatoes and cucumbers, things of that nature? Many of you have sent me emails with your photos of your indoor gardens, and I've literally seen everything. Some of you are growing legumes, you name it, and others have like really heavy duty setups, which is pretty mind-blowing. I'd like to know, because I'm interested to know what is economical in a sense, what makes sense to grow indoors, because I'm still struggling with that. I preserve, obviously, and whatever I can't preserve would kind of fall in the realm of like fresh eats. So it would be things like lettuce, for example, but I don't know if I want to grow lettuce indoors, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'd like to hear what your guys' thoughts are down below. If you want to see how to set one of these bad boys up, I do have one more bucket I need to set up, and I can give you a whole tutorial on how to do that. I'm just not sure if any of you own these or are thinking to own these. So I'm not sure if it's worth my time or your time for that matter. But with that being said, I will talk to you guys next time. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.